Hey guys, Bjorn here again, Goosebumps #1 Aussie fan, bringing you another video. This one is going to be counting down my top 5 favorite Goosebumps villains. So yeah guys, some of you have actually commented down on some of my videos asking me about my top 10 favorite Goosebumps monsters, but I'm actually going to make this one a little bit short and sweet for you guys, so let's just count down my top 5 favorite Goosebumps monsters. So yeah, starting with number 1, Slappy. Slappy is the most amazing Goosebumps villain of all time, because he is the one with the brain. Okay. Now you've got like all the other monsters like the abominable snowman, the werewolf, you know, they're mindless, killing, destroying, destructive monsters, villains, you know what I mean? But they're not like smart with a brain, like that have their own personality and whatnot. But Slappy does. He is the alter ego of R.L.Stine. He is R.L.Stine, you know what I mean? They share the same mind or whatnot. And yeah, Slappy to me is just, he's the brains of the whole establishment. You know what I mean? He takes charge, alright? I mean, as we saw in the Goosebumps movie, he took charge. He's the boss, you know what I mean? And I just feel out of all the monsters and the villains, he is definitely the best. You know what I mean? But then again, I think of like Curly, as I said, you know, he's like one of my favorites. We don't know about Curly because technically there's no Goosebump book with Curly, so I wouldn't know if he's, you know, smart and has a brain and can think for himself like Slappy. I'm just going to say that, yeah, he probably, you know, does whatnot, because he is like the Goosebump mascot, like the reading is a scream label, boo-doo, you know, so it makes me think, does Curly have that sort of same, you know, thought process as Slappy? Like, does he have the same kind of mind as Slappy? Like, in the way, you know, taking charge and whatnot. It's kind of interesting, like, concept, but because there's no actual book with Curly in it, we'll never know. But I'm hoping in the Goosebumps sequel, yeah. But that actually leads me to my second favorite villain, which is Curly. So yeah, Curly. Is he got a brain like Slappy? Does he have a thought process? You know what I mean? Is he like Slappy, like where he'll take charge and know what he's doing and, you know, be able to boss all the other monsters and ghouls around? Well, I don't know. Yeah, that's the question, you know? I would love to ask R.L.Stine that question, you know, if you had have written Curly into a book, would he have had that mind, brain, you know, kind of like Slappy where he's smart? Because, you know, Slappy is one smart dummy. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. So yeah, like, I'm hoping in the sequel, if they do put Curly in, he'll be kind of like Slappy. Like I said, they may have a tussle and a fight, you know, who's in charge. So it'd be really interesting to actually see that happen. Like, I really want to know more about Curly, other than he's just a mascot that was used to promote Goosebumps back in the 90s, you know what I mean? But of course there's that new vinyl coming out by Waxworks, the one that I've actually ordered and still have not yet received, guys. I have been waiting for months since I ordered it, but as soon as it comes, I'm going to do an unboxing and do a full 30-minute video on it. Detail, you know what I mean? Talk about every little possible thing on the record. But yeah, it's actually got Curly on the cover of that, not Slappy. So that's what's interesting. Tim Jacobus has done like a artwork of Curly, like almost like he's the ticket booth. I'll put a picture up like I normally do. But yeah, it'd just be interesting to see if Curly really is smart and have a brain like Slappy. Like, I feel like he would, because of, you know, the way he was promoted, and, you know, he was really pushed back in the 90s as a Goosebump villain, even though he wasn't in any books, just on the cover of, you know, like the Monster Edition, Special Editions, and of course a lot of the merch. But yeah. Anyway, my third favorite Goosebump villain is definitely Cuddles, the hamster. Now, it's a funny story about Cuddles, okay? Because he is the Goosebump monster I was really scared of when I was younger. because obviously when I was really young and I was buying all the books and I started buying the merch, you know, I didn't really read the books at that time, so I wasn't really familiar with Cuddles or whatnot, and I had no idea what it was just by looking at the cover. I just thought it was some creepy monster or something. But then eventually when I started buying like merchandise that had like Cuddles the hamster written on it, I was like, oh, he's a hamster. And then I read the book, and then yeah, clearly he's a hamster. But I was just petrified like of Cuddles back in the day when I was really young. I used to always look at the toys of him and the cover of the book, and I used to be actually like terrified of him. I don't know what it was, but I was just scared of Cuddles. And like I said, actually, I think I said in my previous video, but in the second draft of the script, which I put in the other video down below, I'm still meant to be doing a video on that, guy. Sorry, I will soon, shortly. Yeah, Cuddles was actually in the second draft of the script with Slappy. Like, he was in the script. You know, the second draft of Goosebumps. He was put in it. And it's interesting why they took him out. I don't know, maybe they're thinking, you know, like I said, possibly for a third film, if one of them's based on Monster Blood, then of course Cuddles will be in that. But of course I want to see him in the second movie. But yeah, basically he's in my top 5 because I used to be petrified of Cuddles growing up. I don't know what it was, I was just scared of him. I don't know what it is, but it was just you know, I didn't really like, because I had, you know, some of the toys of him, and I was just, I don't know, I was a bit scared of Cuddles. I don't know, as a young kid mind, I mean now it's like, hey, come on, he's not that scary. But yeah, leads me to my 4th favorite Goosebump villain, King Jelly Jam. Now, I would love King Jelly Jam to be in the sequel. Please, Rob Letterman or Neil Moritz, I believe is the writer, or, you know, whoever's in charge of deciding which monsters go in the movie, please, King Jelly Jam, okay? He is in my top 5 because, I mean, just because King Jelly Jam is my favorite Goosebump book doesn't mean it's my favorite villain, okay? But it is in my favorite top 5. You know, it's funny, like, I don't know, okay, obviously King Jelly Jam is the villain, the evil, but then I also think the counselors are as well. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, toss up. But yeah, obviously it's King Jelly Jam. He's the big purple, creepy, scary monster that eats the kids if they stop cleaning him. But yeah, he's number 4. I mean, he's like the Blob, but the Blob just eats everything. It devours everything that comes near it. But King Jelly Jam just sort of like, yeah, if any of the kids stop cleaning him, he picks them up and eats them, gobbles them down. Oop, done. But yeah, King Jelly Jam, number 4. Number 5. Now, this is a hard decision. I honestly couldn't think which monster for number 5, but I'm just gonna have to say it's probably the Haunted Mask. But it's because it's like the Haunted Mask. It's like the mask is the villain. The actual mask is the villain, the evil, you know. But then, like, when I actually read the book, for some reason, like, okay, I'm talking, you know, obviously villains for the top 5, but Carly Beth is a very strong-willed person. I mean, she's okay. At first, she's getting bullied by the kids, you know, Chuck and Steve and whatnot. She's getting bullied all the time, and she wants to get revenge on them. You know, she gets the mask, tries to scare them. But like, it's the fact that, you know, at the end of the story, like when the mask is, you know, trying to take over her body, and she is able to fight it, you know, and she uses that head that her mum had of her, Carly Beth. You guys have actually, I'm sure you guys would have seen the head in my room. A lot of you, some of you have commented that about the head, asking where I got it. Well, I made it, guys, because I'll put a picture at the end of the video, or I might even just put it now, I don't know. I actually dressed up as the Haunted Mask for a convention called Supernova, which, yeah, some of you guys were asking me about where I got some of my t-shirts from. It's actually, yeah. So, yeah, I dressed up as the Haunted Mask at the convention. So, yeah, I actually made that head of Carly Beth. So yeah, that's actually what that is, just clearing it up for some of you guys that were asking me. I made it, okay? I didn't buy it or find it, I made it. But yeah, Carly Beth, she's a really strong-willed person, like how she fights the mask and she uses the head, you know, and that her mum had made her, you know, with the symbol of love. Like, I don't know, like, but of course, yeah, the mask is the top 5, the number 5 villain. But yeah, just, I don't know, like, it's hard to sort of just wrap your mind around that, the villain of the Haunted Mask, because, like, you know, when the mask is on Carly Beth, it's kind of like, you know, she's the evil villain in the episode, but it's really just the mask, obviously. But yeah, Haunted Mask is number 5, definitely number 5. But yeah, that's my top 5 favorite monsters, guys. Yeah, Slappy, Curly, Cuddles, King Jelly Jam, and the Haunted Mask. Top 5. But if you really must know my 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, comment down below and I'll do another video. Part 2 of my top 10 favorite monsters. But yeah, guys, that's all we have time for today. I don't want to make this video too long. I'll see you guys again soon.